Roman Kopylov taking on Paulo Costa. After nearly 2 years off, Paulo Costa, he reemerged last year. He had two fights against two of the top fighters in the weight division. He fought Rob Whittaker, he fought Sean Strickland, lost via decision in both fights. His last fight, it was maligned for being extremely boring, but his fight with Whittaker, he had a good performance, so it was a bit of a mixed bag for him in terms of how he fought, but he's taken a pretty big step down here when he faces Roman Kopylov. His last six fights, he's fought former champions or UFC title challengers. Now he's fighting a guy who's never even touched the top 10. And Costa's a fun personality. He's been in the UFC forever. He was on The Ultimate Fighter Brazil more than 10 years ago. He was on that show. And this is a must-win for him, though. If he loses this fight, I wouldn't be shocked if he never fought again. And he hasn't won a fight in quite a long time. But Roman Kopylov, he started slow in UFC, or excuse me, he did win against Luke Rockhold, I'm sorry, but besides that, but Roman Kopylov started slow in UFC. He has won 6 of his last 7 fights, though, and he really turned himself into a fan favorite because of his style. He's a super high-level striker, knockout artist. He has 5 knockout wins in his last 6 fights, and his last fight, he proved he could knock you out even until the dying second of the fight. He got a TKO with 1 second left on the clock versus Chris Curtis. And he's been beating who's been put in front of him, but it wasn't the cream of the crop competition before the Curtis fight. So this is the biggest name by far that Kopylov has fought, and probably the most well-rounded MMA fighter he's going to have faced to date. But Kopylov, he's going to be looking to use Costa as a stepping stone and get in title contention with the win. So we'll see if he can get the job done Saturday night. And you look at Kopylov, he's an experienced guy. He's a southpaw, long and fast. He's very polished. He's good at pulling fighters into his big straight left hand. His jab is nasty. He has excellent footwork. He does a good job of mixing up between the body and the head. He has some of the best body punching in the sport. Amazing hand combinations, and he throws brutal kicks too. His body kicks are dynamic, but he can throw kicks to all parts of the body. In his last fight, he ended with a head kick. He uses dynamic movements, kicks. He's really fast twitch. Defensively, Kopylov controls distance, and he's ready to counter effectively. He also keeps his hands high when he's fresh, and his defense is good, but it can fall apart a little bit when he slows down. He'll start to drop his hands. He's less fast with his offense. He'll stand in front of you more. And he doesn't have the best poker face, so when he's tired or he's hurt, it's pretty obvious, which isn't good for judges, but he could wear damage, though. He's never been knocked out. And you have to make it a brawl, get in Kopylov's face and box him to really get to him if you can't take him down. You probably will have to eat some big left hands to get inside, but you have to get past that kicking range if you're an opponent of Kopylov. And, you know, if I'm Kopylov, my camp was about cardio, defending pressure, leg kicks, body kicks, then keeping the fight on the feet. At range, he's the more technical striker. And Kopylov's losses have primarily been versus wrestlers. He's worked diligently on improving his takedown defense, though, and he had a run of defending 20-plus takedowns in the UFC. But Anthony Hernandez broke that streak and submitted Kopylov. And Kopylov, when he does actually get put on bottom, he isn't good. He'll give his back to stand up. He can be broken. He's gotten submitted with a rear naked choke on more than one occasion. And he has a tendency to fade hard, but recently he's been getting second wins. And he got tired, beat up in round 2 versus both Cesar Almeida and Chris Curtis, but he did a good job bouncing back and winning the third round. And Kopylov won't wrestle offensively here, I doubt. I mean, if he does, I think he's going to be in trouble. And he did use his wrestling versus Cesar Almeida. He also got a takedown late versus Chris Curtis. So he is working on the double, and it's nice. But I think if he's wrestling Costa here, he's losing. And Costa, pressure fighter. He's one of the best athletes in the division. And his presence alone is intimidating due to his power, his physique. Although that's kind of waned a little bit now that he's taken losses. But he's very explosive. He throws lightning fast kicks in his own right. He has to go forward in this fight where he can press Kopylov, and I think he should try to land a lot of leg kicks, body kicks, use the jab, set up big punches. He's been pretty low volume as far as the hands go in his 3 comeback fights. He tends to throw just one big hook, one big cross, one overhand when he throws to the head. On the inside, he is good at finding the body with hooks, but I think that he needs to try to open up a little bit more with his punches. He can't just rely on that chuck hook or right hand. And his kicks are his main weapon, though. He throws heavy leg kicks, body kicks. His kicks looked especially fast versus Rob Whittaker. He actually rocked Rob Whittaker with a heel kick to the head in the end of round 1. And if there was a little more time, he could have potentially gotten him out of there. And if Costa can chop the legs and Kopylov more stationary, is good shape, I could see him taking over. He's the more durable fighter. I think he's going to be slower in terms of the hands, but if he can get Kopylov moving backwards, work the body, slow him down, put damage on him, I think that he could potentially get back in the win column. And you look at Paulo Costa's grappling, he's not shown it much, but I think it's underrated. If he can get on top of Kopylov, I do think he could do damage, maybe find a finish. But I don't know if he's really going to wrestle. It's probably going to be a stand-up fight. I honestly think this is close to a 50-50 fight. Roman Kopylov has the momentum. He's a little cleaner. He's longer. But Costa's more durable. He maintains his gas tank better. Probably the bigger dog if it becomes a dog fight. Both guys are 34, so that's a wash. And they both had a lot of UFC fights. They both taken damage. On the feet early, I think Kopylov will be throwing and landing more. But if Costa can make his strikes count by going to the legs, going to the body, pressuring, opening up, when he gets Kopylov backed up, using the jab and maybe busting Kopylov's face up like he did Whittaker, I think Kopylov may break. And I could also see Kopylov shooting a bad takedown, getting reversed, ending up on bottom. If Costa comes in flat, Kopylov could just pick him apart, outclass him. But I think it's do or die for Costa here. And he's getting an easier opponent than Sean Strickland for his style. Rob Whittaker, who's also a great kicker and mover, did beat Costa, but Costa performed really well. And I think if that same version shows up, he can take this victory and maybe get a late TKO or decision win. We saw Cesar Almeida versus Kopylov, and if Kopylov couldn't get the takedowns in that matchup, he likely would have lost. And I think he's not going to take Paulo down. So if Paulo puts that pressure on him and could really get his striking going, I think he could become the first guy to TKO Kopylov or at least decision him. So give me Paulo Costa here in the upset. I'm going to say Costa comes back and picks up a big victory here.